Sound, the Chinese girls are very good. Quick ball out, see if they're going to go wide. There's a bit of space there. First receiver's going to take it. Previous tries in the first this game of China, they use a lot inside switch ball, so let's see what happens this time. And a mistake by the Chinese with Sri Lanka, kicking it downfield, putting them back in their own half. China running a little bit lateral, not too sure what the case with that one there. She's getting closer and closer and closer to the sideline, so China's got some composure there. They've got a bit of width. Should have let that ball go out a little bit more, but back into the half of the Sri Lankans. Good defense so far from Sri Lanka. Just got to make up their first up tackles. And as we speak, it's just the first up tackles just didn't quite last enough. So try under the post for China. The pressure sort of started to pay off, and Sri Lanka could only hold on as much as they could. So 5-0.
First try
Score
of
takes
the
it out
match,
to China.
scored by China's number 5, Xiao Ming Yu.
Scored by Yao Ming Yu. And the kick was unsuccessful right in front of the post. Score remains at 5-0 with 2 minutes on the clock. And just a confusion with the score on our scoreboard and the score on the actual local board here. Its conversion is correct. 7-0. Just a bit of a delay for the ball boys to come in and click all the balls out. Spectators probably want to take the moment as soon as they get them. And China's gone nice and high. And great work by the Chinese girl with a bit of athleticism just to get up in the air to tap that back onto their side. Keep possession, use the width and pace. Exactly what people want to come to see here at Sports Road. Fantastic try, regain position right away from the kickoff. Simple stuff. 7s is purely non-contact. 15s is bash the living daylights out of each other. So that's what we want to be seeing today. So if you can use the ball a lot better than other teams, take it wide, get the space, tries will come about. So back on the scoreboard again for China. Current score 12 points to 0. And another fantastic kick from the sideline there. And China heads out to 14 points to 0 and 3 minutes only on the clock gone. So a very good start for the Chinese girls, and they've been renowned to run away with situations like this. And they struggled in the first half. They started well, and then they had a bit of a bad patch in between. So it took them quite a while to sort of get back onto the scoreboard in the second half. So China hopefully learnt their mistake and just really need a pile on the points. But Sri Lanka just need to hold that ball. And here we're taking it into contact. And already China have stolen that ball in the ruck. And China have gone wide. Straight away they see space out wide, because especially when they got pace like that. Player on the ground, knock on, Toby Lothian from Hong Kong's indicated. Scrum down Sri Lanka ball. So finally slowly putting Sri Lanka into the attacking zone, which is in the China half. But let's see if we can see if Sri Lanka can win their set piece, because China do have a very good set scrum. Scrum down, Sri Lanka ball. And the key thing for China at the moment in terms of the Sri Lankan attacks, that the Chinese girls are very strong over the ball and have turned 2 or 3, if not 4 parts of possession. So incorrect feed. It's a penalty to China, and they've spread in the field wide. Sri Lanka not quite got their sweeper in the back there. Now they're slowly moving into a position. Got some great passing skills, the Chinese girls, and just seem to make it look a lot easier than some of the teams that have been out there already. Great inside step there. And a penalty against the Sri Lankans for a high tackle. China's tapped and gone, and he's got a 2-on-1, if not a 3-on-1 situation, but decided to take it into the contact area. Toby Lothian has put his hand in the pocket here again, and he's gone for the scrag high tackle again. The Chinese want to quickly tap and go, especially when there's one player down on the Sri Lankan side. He sort of just calm things down, made sure the defence are back on the try line. And away we go. So 7 players to 6 in favor of the Chinese. Can they use it? There's always going to be space somewhere. And once again, another 5 points to the Chinese out wide. So that takes the score once again, pushing it out to 19 points to 0. And for those that have only just joined us on the streamline, the sin bin, the yellow card scenario is a 2 minute rest on the sideline, just to think about what the naughty stuff I suppose I've done. And as the other players of 6, if not less, depending on the numbers coming off, have to work a little bit harder. So it's a hard day at the office when you have one player off the pitch for that period of time. Hence, China have scored that 5-pointer. With about a minute left on the clock, China looking extremely composed. They've got some good leaders in the pitch. Kick off, not as long as last time. Great catch by Sri Lanka, offloaded in the tackle. One player slightly down, she's getting back up again. China's looking at the turnover, lost in the tackle by Sri Lanka. And look, we've got numbers again. This is the scenario we talked about when you're down one player short. Ball's kicked through, Toby Lothian decided to get in the way. Was he going to play advantage? It came off the referee, so he's going back in favour of the Chinese. Scrum down just inside of the 22 metres of the Sri Lankan half. Timeout. And accidentally, of course, Toby never gets in the way of the ball. But this one accidentally hit him, so you've got to go in favour of the attacking team. So have to bring it all the way back in case there's no advantage played. And scrum down to China. Middle of the field, great attacking opposition. You've got options left and right. And that really splits the defence. And it even splits them even more when you especially only got one player less on the field. Sri Lanka still got the 6 players. They've probably got about 30 seconds left on the sin bin and the yellow card, so that player will be back on board and try and hold out China without scoring another 5-pointer, if not any other points. So win to China, pressure by the Sri Lankans just outside of the half. Half-time whistle's gone. Great ball carry. Not too sure where she's going to be passed. Lothian's seen the infringement, knock on. Sri Lanka lives another day. Half-time, 19 points to 0 for China over the Sri Lankans. Of the women's in round 2. China taking on the Sri Lankans, and the current score at halftime is 19 points to 0. Seems to be a long day in the office for the Sri Lankans, but I'm sure they'll walk away after day 1, realising what they need to be doing in terms of the knockout stages in day 2 here at Hong Kong Football Club at Sports Road. Toby Lothian in the middle again, got himself involved in one of the players, had to bring back for a scrum, so kickoff gone long from Sri Lanka into the 22 of the Chinese players. Their options is to just take it wide. They've got pace, they've got ball carriers, and this is a great example. Lovely fend, inside support. And just a bit of a knock on, Lothian's playing advantage. The Sri Lankans have taken possession and taken it up outside of their own half. So here we go, phase 1. As part of it is, can they continue past phase 1, phase 2, past phase 3. So it's just holding the position for longer periods of time. Sri Lanka going wide. Do they have the pace? Do they have the support? They've lost it in the contact area. The Chinese are kicking it downfield, regathering possession, and here's their option. Lothian's got his hands out. China's seen the space. And here we go, not giving up the Sri Lankans. Lothian there on hand, warding another 5-pointer. No, he's caught a bit of time off here. It's coming all the way back here. The crowd was just jumping out of their seats for that try. 3,000 people packed into here at Hong Kong Football Club to watch the Asian 7 Series, so make sure you get yourself down there. So while Lothian's just getting a little bit of clarity from his AR, going for a knock-on, scrum down. So a slight let-off for the Sri Lankan team. And that sort of gives them another bit of a breather. Still maintaining the score at 19.5. No score points, no points at all in the second half with a minute gone, but 6 to go. And the key thing within the first half, ladies and gentlemen, was that yellow card with 6 players, 2 tries. Okay, scrum down Sri Lanka. Bit of a messy scrum. Lothian's got his hand up. And I'll get some clarity on that with our invitation referee in the next match. And that's a penalty against China for driving up, I'm assuming. That's my interpretation. It's staying like that today. And Sri Lanka's taking the ball in. Lovely flick pass out the back door. Hitting down the 5-metre channel. Never hit the 5-metre channel unless you've got speed to burn. So white line fevers, force out. So it's line out time for the Chinese. So you just can't afford to give away any parts of possession, especially in 7s. You know, you've got to hold on to it before you know it. You've got 7 minutes to try and get points. Beautiful day out there, ladies and gentlemen. You're probably a little bit disappointed at 8:20 when the first game kicked off. It poured down with rain, so no excuses to get down here off the MTR. China wins that ball. Great fend off. Skills are absolutely powerful. You've got big, tall, ranging runners. Great skills. Going to go wide, are they not? No, they're seeing some pass. Great support. Here we go, skills. Couple of passes out, and I'm sure there's space here. 2-on-1 situation. And over, as they would say. Fantastic rugby here we're seeing here at the Asian 7 Series sponsored by HSBC. So try for China again. Pushes the scoreboard to 22 points, 24 points to 0 over Sri Lanka.
Another try takes China out to 24 points to 0 ahead with the conversion to go. And the conversion from
and conversion is successful and pushes our score to 26 to 0. And once again, it's a long day at the office for the Sri Lankans. You do take your hat off to them all for making this effort to get into this part of the tournament, traveling thousands of miles to get to a tournament, let alone the cost, the funding, training together logistically. So here they all are to prove their goods. Kickoff gone short. Sri Lanka had no chance to try and catch that, to regain it. China's capitalised. The bit of a knock-on. Lothian's playing advantage. See if Sri Lanka can push it out a couple of passes, find a bit of space. Doing a bit of a dance. She's isolated. Great work there off the ground. Well, they're keeping it alive. I'm not sure how much alive they're going to be doing, but China have now, all they need is just that ball. Watch them, see if they're going to do what they normally do. Take it a couple of passes out, becomes a 2-on-1 situation. And shame. That would have been a fantastic try. You can see these teams, if they keep away from the contact, take it into space, look for other options, keep moving it from left to right, and somewhere, somehow, space will occur into points. So scrum down, knock on by China. And once again, Sri Lanka have taken a long time to get out of their half. And at the 4.5 minute mark, current score being 26 points to 0. So if Sri Lanka can at least get a couple of points on the board and walk away on day one with a little bit more confidence going into their peer groups. Okay, force back out just outside of the 22. Sri Lanka's having to go. Why not? Got nothing to lose. They're down at 26 points to 0. Once again, white line fever. That means the sideline. Keep out of that 5. Quick pass, quick throw in line out from China. Got big range in midfield. Look at her run. Looking absolutely brilliant. and takes it right underneath the sticks for another 5-pointer. She doesn't even look puffed. So there's the difference between some of these emerging nations to some of these nations are actually possibly in semi-pro, if not full-time training programs. So Thor now takes it out to 31 points to 0. China's making a few substitutes. Sri Lanka's making a few substitutes, a few water bottles going around. It is extremely hot out there. It's probably heading way over the 30 mark for a lot of people. And I'm in the aircon area, and there's people out there in the sun, so it's got to be very difficult under these conditions. So we're seeing some great rugby, fine-tuned athletes, including Toby Lothian in the middle in the orange shirts. Yep, Toby's getting confused. Yep, China are making irrelevant substitutes, wrong time, incorrectly. Who knows? But Toby's had enough. Free kick halfway. Sri Lanka just didn't take that opportunity correct. So, bit of a mistake there. Quick tap, gave it to somebody, gave it to nobody. Knock on, scrum down. China board halfway. So, yeah, bit of a silly error. Simple little mistake by both teams. China in the substitutes, and Sri Lanka in the free kick tap at halfway. So back to square one. Time on the clock, scrum down, China ball. Bless you, Dawn. And here we go, and she's got those big ranging wings and great runners, great fend. Love to see how that pushes out there, and oh, looks like that poor Sri Lankan girl's going to get penalised. Even I, as an ex-referee player, knows the rule myself. So China takes the opportunity, they tap and go, and these girls just don't give up, do they? So they're looking sharp, they're looking fit. Should be a great contest come day 2 at the knockout stages. So another try into the corner takes China out to 31 points to 0. Conversion yet to come. So hard day at the office for Sri Lanka. I'm sure they'll go back and do their little ice bar pool session, recuperate, have a bit of lunch. And it is a hard day at the office when you're playing and your pool matches on day 1 where scores do eventually get out to that 25, if not 30 odd points differential. So kick is through, conversion successful, 38 points to 0. China take the victory over Sri Lanka.
To finish off the game, China winners over Sri Lanka by 38 points to 0.